All right, everybody, what's going on? No trade recap today. It's just gonna be literally me just tape reading because I didn't take a trade. We had war news yesterday. Last night, honestly, not sure what happened. I guess we're in the middle of a crisis. I don't think the U.S. has anything to do with it. Not yet, I hope, because anything when it comes to Iran or Israel, dog, it's just why did the U.S. always has to interfere? I'm not a freaking political person, but it's like, bro, anyone with a brain could literally tell anything that has to do with Iran, bro, the U.S. would just always try to intervene some fucking way. But, anyways, that's not the point. The point is there was war news. I didn't take a trade. We also ended up having okay. Okay. We also ended up having consumer sentiment today. Let me freaking. There we go. We ended up having consumer sentiment today. This really didn't do anything that much. It didn't move the markets. If anything, it really like adhered to my bias because I was really tape reading. But before we get on into it, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You guys are just listening to music, and it's like this music just does not fit you. Like, bro, someone could meet me in like real life, right? And I could be like, yo, I'm like the friendliest guy ever. But it's like the bro, like the stuff I listen to is like so out of character. Like, bro, I listen to OT7 Kwani, and if you guys don't know who OT7 Kwani is, you guys need to get a book. But bro, Kwani just be so freaking hard, bro. Like, I don't know, I just fuck with like the whole like hustler, just get money, just like not fuck bitches, but like not like fuck bitches, but just like fuck bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like money over like women, basically. I fuck with that whole like not aesthetic. I just fuck with that lifestyle because it's like, bro. Before I got on this trading shit, this is it's literally what I was doing. Even while I'm doing this trading shit, bro, it's still like money over women, like any day of the month of the week, except for my beautiful family. But dog, just bro, I'm about to put you guys on peak, dog. Listen.
You better not fucking tell. We skip 11 to 13, cause we don't fuck with 12. I'm like Curry from the 3, you know it's crunch time. He ain't put holes in his body, that nigga SpongeBob. We ain't even fucking, she get paid to drive. I ain't thinking about no pussy, it's money on my mind.
Trevor dog. You know how I rock, y'all.
A nigga touch me, a nigga gon' die. Homie loafing on that bike, that got him fried. A nigga play with me, he gon' meet God. 50,000 or Doug.
A nigga play with me, he gonna meet God. That's not at all true, bro. I promise you, if any nigga plays with me, they're just gonna get beat down. But bro, I'm not killing nobody. I'm not a killer. I'm not a killer, guys. Look at me. Look at this. I'm not a killer. Yo, my bond looks so messed up.
Bet she cried. I know she came with you, but she gon' leave with us. Yeah, that's my little bro.
But he leave niggas.
I got my own paper, I don't need niggas.
Okay, anyways, the point is, I just be listening to that music. I'm like, damn, bro, that shit is so hard. Like, imagine I came up from the hood. Like, damn. But I did grow up in New York, so I mean, hopefully that counts for something. But hey man, what was I gonna say? Let's talk about today's trade, bro. I ended up sleeping in today, literally. I didn't feel like taking a trade, especially with these huge ass liquidity voids. And we're gonna talk about both biases today, cause when I tape read personally, I don't just see how one strategy, like one of my like strategies, could like really like adhere. I look for how both biases could play out. Like for instance, today I was obviously bearish after looking at yesterday. I told myself I was gonna be bearish today. We were gonna want to try to have a V-shaped recovery into this huge liquidity void on the hourly, these huge liquidity voids, and just from that I knew I was going to want to be bearish if I were to even trade. But in the back of my mind, say not but no in the back of my mind, I knew I was just gonna be bearish. I knew I wasn't gonna trade because if I already told myself I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm not gonna like ruin my subconscious like that. Although sometimes I do need help with it, but like other stuff, but I'm getting like better with like destroying my bad habits and stuff. But let's talk about today's trade. Today honestly, I think ES was the better index to take a trade on. However, I did do both on Nasdaq, as you guys could see. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about shorts first, because today I was bearish coming into today. We ended up pushing up. First of all, let's look at our hourly draws and liquidity. We really just had these highs and these lows. We ended up having this gap. I don't know what this gap was from 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. I don't know what that was. Um, Genuinely, I still don't know what it is. That was kind of like a little bit weird to me, how like time was just skipping over. But whatever it was a good place for price to draw into. We also had these gaps, these hourly gaps. Like I said, again, they're just draws and liquidity. Um, just external draws and liquidity, external internal draws and liquidity to end up pushing up into these voids. So obviously, I would want to catch a short to these fills. So with that being said, our only like real draws on liquidity were really just these highs and these lows. With that being said, we ended up coming in, pushing into this high. We ended up sweeping out of this high. We were still in this huge liquidity void. However, coming into the market open, we ended up ripping. It was kind of like textbook today. I was really looking. Price action was really not bad. I really enjoyed just reading this price action. It was really nice. We ended up creating a 5-minute, not a 5-minute SMT. We ended up creating a 1-minute SMT, as you guys could tell. Price ended up breaking 5-minute structure on ES. However, I still wouldn't count for anything unless we invalidate this gap, because we can still break structure and then still be able to just respect the first quadrant of this gap and then continue on higher. That's exactly what we didn't do, but we ended up creating a 1-minute SMT. From there, I didn't bother looking at the 5-minute anymore after I realized that the 1-minute SMT was made, because how was it made? NASDAQ ended up sweeping out this high, ES didn't, so from there, it might not be on the 5-minute, but it was on the 1-minute. So after we create that 1-minute internal SMT, if this SMT is really true to its core, it should hold. These highs should not be breached above. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much what happened. We ended up inversing this gap. And honestly, it was a lot of chop work. We ended up inversing this gap, which is really, really good to my model. I'm trying to find good colors for like this whole new chart layout that I have, but we ended up inversing this gap. But again, like I said, too much wicks. This is technically internal turtle soup because we ended up taking out this high in this range, but we ended up inversing this gap, and we ended up having this breaker block. We ended up respecting this breaker block. Price, no, not price. News dropped at 10, and honestly, like I said, ES was the better place because ES was already the leading indicator of what I wanted to see. On NASDAQ, we ended up changing the state. This was a real actual change in the state. You could honestly count these ones, but these ones we were already in a downtrend because we broke 1-minute structure. I'm counting these ones because we broke 1-minute structure to the upside, so technically this would be the reversal one. Not even technically, it would be the reversal one, and then we ended up coming up respecting it, creating another SMT, and then from there we ended up dumping to the downside, and then like this would have been the only trade I would have taken on NASDAQ. If this had like, if ES didn't give me anything, this would have been like the only thing. By then, we are already like halfway into the move, and the only thing would really be to target would just be this hourly gap, like I said, and then this hourly gap, and then we also have this 4 to 7 a.m. gap, and then that would have been pretty much it for this. For NASDAQ, which is why I didn't really favor NASDAQ at all. I really favored ES, and honestly, I don't really take trades off of breaker blocks with my 1-minute entries. Really only on a rare occasion, if price is just being so obvious that it wants to do that, then yeah, but other than that, I don't really do that. ES was the better index in my opinion. This was the leading index after we ended up creating that SMT. From there, we ended up having our change of the state. We respected this change of the state to create this SMT. It was pretty much game time. We ended up having a bearish order block. You can also count this as the order block, but this would really be like the most recent order block. We ended up creating this order block. Price ended up respecting it, but however, I wasn't really peeping that. I was really peeping this first fair value gap after our change to the state. We ended up having this fair value gap, but I didn't like this because this obviously got ran through. I wanted this one when I was reading price. Price looked like it was respecting it. News came out. News was pretty heavily volatile, but coincidentally, we just ended up respecting all bearish PD rays. We ended up coming in respecting this inversion gap, 1-minute bearish gap, and then from there, after that closure, this would have been like the only solid entry, and then my original stops would have been above this high. And I would have targeted literally my same draws and liquidity like as I were if I was bearish. However, following that, we ended up creating we ended up sweeping out buy side, creating another bearish SMT. And again, if this SMT is really true to its validity, this gap right here or BPR should get invalidated. And from there, as you guys can see, it ended up getting really heavily pushed through. So if I was in this trade, hypothetically, this would have been like my actual like stop loss. My stop loss would have been above news highs, and my take profits would have been the same. And then after we had the strong displacements, or honestly after this SMT, plus that strong displacement, my stops would have been above this SMT high, because like I said, if an SMT is really true, those highs or lows are protected. So that would have been what I would have had. Um, um, what we call it, and then from there, price ended up displacing higher. Price ended up respecting this other fair value gap. From there, my stop loss would have been at break even, and then I would have just let price ride to my take profit one, which would have been this hourly low, and then this again was the 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. whatever this was, imbalance influx right here, and then my last take profit would have been these are hourly highs, or these are inversion highs, not inversion, fair value gap. Yeah, fair value gap low. This would have been my last take profit. Would have been the imbalance, like the actual like fill all the way at the bottom. Price ended up not doing that. We ended up coming up, creating a reversal. But like I said, everything played out for shorts. I was originally bearish. I'm really glad I didn't take a trade. Like I said, I was originally not planning to. But the way price action really laid itself out to be was really extravagant for shorts. So if anyone caught shorts today, you guys are beautiful. You guys know what's up. Longs, however, this is gonna be quite a decently long video. Longs, however, longs were also very, very valid. And in order to get the mind state for longs, you're gonna want to have to look at what prices did. We ended up creating a 1 minute SMT. From there, we ended up having this 1 minute inversion. If you are deep in a short and you see an SMT get formed and you see this inversion, literally just get out the trade. There's no reason to hold your stop loss or you're trailing, because you're gonna get stopped out. That's just how it is, since these SMTs are true to its word. Most of the time, mainly because we end up filling an imbalance or sweeping out a low. In this case, we ended up sweeping out a low and filling an hourly bullish imbalance. So when that SMT was formed, it was no doubt going to hold. Like I said, if you want to, like I said, for longs, I wasn't long, but to see how someone could have like banked on longs today, really the only thing I see, like the only thing that I like really enjoyed, like high time frame wise, would just be these huge liquidity voids, right? Because it's like price is always going to want to seek to fill in liquidity voids before we continue lower or higher or whatever. So just looking at these liquidity voids would have just been perfect for me for longs, a perfect target. We're just going to talk about ES, to be honest, because ES, again, was the lagging indicator. Not lagging indicator, the ahead indicator. We ended up creating that 1 minute inversion. From there, we also had our change in the state. So honestly, just from these two alone, could have been just a proper, really good entry. On top of that, this is literally what I look for in bullish as well. This is literally what I looked for yesterday. We had a change in the state, and then what else did we have? We ended up having a gap getting filled. But this was before the change in the state. But obviously after this inversion, we ended up having these gaps filled. I'm obviously going to be long within one of these two entries, and then on top of that, a change in the state could just be adding on to positions. So hypothetically, say I enter like from here, my stop loss would genuinely be under this inversion, since it would be protected. And then only thing I'd really target would really just be this imbalance high, because no joke, price would want to come and target that. Like I said, it's a high time frame liquidity void. Liquidity voids are always going to be easy to target. Not easy to target, but especially on the higher time frame, price is always going to want to seek it out. It looked like price ended up coming up respecting this respecting this CISD, coming back in to tap into this fair value gap, and then from there it looks like we ran off. Honestly, any take profits in the meanwhile that I probably would have had, I'm honestly not sure, to be honest. This looked really good just to have just one straightforward take profit. I mean, if anything, maybe this 15-minute high, but I don't know. I wouldn't have had longs today. I was just fully bearish. Price played out in my bearish conditions. Maybe this 5-minute high could have been like a really good place to just take profits, because this is already almost a 7R. Right here would be 3, so you'd be halfway there, and then just move stops to break even. But yeah, I could only see like this for longs. This would really be like the most valid play, just taking it to the high time frame liquidity void. But yeah, main thing, I was short, I was bearish. Price ended up playing really good, and that's pretty much it. Oh, executions apply to all. Okay, no trades taken, baby. No trades. Nothing to lie to you guys about. But that was pretty much today. I'm taking today off, literally just resting. Not resting, just going to be continue to watch ITT back tests, and just really reflect on my week, post more TikToks, and yeah, Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, if you do, like, subscribe. I got a comment on my last video, bro. Hold on. This guy was like, okay, like I said, there is some guy on my last video. He was like, nigga, if you don't start trading fundeds, dog, you're probably watching this video, bro. God willing, bro, fundeds are coming soon, to say the least, bro. I feel like I've been proving pretty good on paper, so far, especially in May being my best month, April as well, and June pretty good. March was actually pretty good. I think the only thing I messed up in March was just my executions, if you look back on it. But dog, it's coming soon, dog, to say the least. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. My last video got 30 views. That's actually pretty good, and we hit 2 more subscribers, dog. We're almost at freaking 100, which is insane, bro. 72 subs, bro. I love you guys so freaking much, bro. It's actually insane. I'm glad that you guys are here, seeing the journey. And obviously, people who watch me, they're all fellow traders. So I hope you guys are killing it as well, bro. Whatever you guys see from me, whatever mistakes I make, don't make the mistakes I make. Because at the end of the day, if you're watching me, you're probably unprofitable. I know a couple profitable homies that actually watch me. I love them. Shout out to my nigga. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. My nigga Aaron. But whatchamacallit, what was I gonna say? Oh, we're almost close to freaking 100 subs, guys. Bro, I'm actually gonna trip if I had 100 subs, but it's still crazy. But I hope you guys enjoy the recaps. I hope you guys enjoy everything, dog. I do want to get into like regular content when I'm like actually way more like not consistent, but like way more like improved in trading. I want to actually like make content. I don't know about educational, probably not educational. That's the only people that really helped me. Anyone could go watch for free. But with that being said, I hope to see you guys in Monday. Yeah, I'll see you guys on my TikTok. He's on trades. You already know. I'm literally active there 24 freaking 7. But yeah, I love you guys. Peace.